What it do, YouTube? Back at it. It's the chill. Excuse me. Um, First, I'm gonna say this. I did a couple of videos back to back, so don't get in my comment section saying anything about a cat ain't got no gear. I literally just did back to back. That's why I might make sure I put them all up today because I don't want no one to be, oh yeah, because I got stuff right in front of me that I planned on switching in and out so that it don't look like a cat ain't got nothing to wear. But I'm like, man, look here, I ain't got time for that. I'm about to just go ahead and get this out the way. What's more important is the content about how a cat's looking and dressing right now. Y'all can worry about that. I know me. Ask your chicks about me. Yeah, I know how to dress. Yeah, you want to get real, yes, get in the comments and say something and watch me barbecue you and embarrass you. So do you don't want to do that with me? Because I'm lethal with, yeah, not I. So anyway, um, let me also give my shout outs. Kev Mac Video, Stephen A. Smith as the first take, Bosco, Nina Boy, C Bill, Joe T, 89 on up, homie, Inglewood Legends channel, Gunner's Collection, Dubs, Jay Williams, Big Joe T, I think I said Little Joe, Cartoon One, Big Blue Rag, L.A. Ron, 89 on up, homie. I didn't just say him. I said L.A. Inglewood. Inglewood Legends. I don't think I said him. Um, yeah, that's why I need to write everybody's name down. Quit saying that so I can just have it all written out. So I can just, until I got to have it memorized. Because I want to definitely give my shout outs to you folks. Stay out the way. Trey, Charlie Global, Real Kins TV, Damian Porter, The Who's Who, Jay Hood, Scar in the Woods. Been checking out the homie down there. Yeah, I rock with you, bro. I've been there and been out, so I know how it is. But you'll make it through. And so 16 to Life. I'm like, I know there's another Crip I'll be listening to, 16 to Life, and his name is Chill. But he older than me. So he probably had his name longer than I had mine, even though mine is D Chill. My brother, he was Chill, and I was D Chill. I got to tell the story about that because it's fascinating. It will surprise you and shock you. But I'm going to tell that one day. I just been trying to make sure I put it out the right way. So yeah, I ain't gonna get into that. So anyway, this story is a little different and difficult because you never know when this is the last time you're gonna see somebody. So I'll say this to y'all and I'll get into the story. You when you're about to leave from one of your partners, friends, associates, whatever you call them, make sure, even if you guys are feuding, make sure your last words is I love you. You could have just argued with him for the last 10 minutes. Make sure your last words are I love you or something to that effect. Don't let it be something like this. So, excuse me. Back in the days, I had a homeboy that my homeboy, and this ain't no disrespect. This is just what this man's name was. That's what gang banging wise they called him. We used to call him Big Head Red, but that's what they would call him. The homie I was thinking about earlier. Just, hey, Razor, I'm in the middle of doing a video, so let me hit you right back. All right, it's my homeboy from my neighborhood. So I think I remember where I was. Dang it. So anyway, this particular person, he called at the time he was banging. They called him CK Rick. He introduced us to the homie Suge. That's my homeboy. At this time, that was my first best friend, and I'll explain why. When I met Suge from Rick, I had just met him, didn't know too much about him, but then he started hanging around more, and we started getting closer and closer till it became like we were inseparable. Inseparable. We went everywhere and did everything together. We became real close, which is kind of different because Suge's from Union, J2C, one of the youngest cats that I'd ever known of being from their neighborhood. Some folks want to say he was from somewhere else. Not one time in my entire time of being around him, been over, I'm not going to say weird, been over to a particular area where his mother stayed at that he went to visit up on 30th. I'll say that enough. But not one time have I ever heard him mention any other place in Seattle that he considered his neighborhood. I had a cat that was, I ain't gonna say what he was. I'm gonna get to that. But I had a cat a nerve to tell me that he had got put on by. So I'm like, are you serious? Like, why would you come from a legendary crew, one of the first ones in town, to get put on one of the last? I mean, what kind of sense them? And then only like that, like what I was saying in my last video, I wasn't about to let nobody from Compton or anywhere else put their hands on me about being a blood, period. Because let me just be clear, I wasn't that much into it. I was banging, but I'm not from their hometown. So I wasn't finna do all what y'all do. I just never believed in that. Even though I didn't beat homeboys into our neighborhood, but I wasn't finna let nobody from out of town put hands on me to be on their neighborhood. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, period. So it's the same difference, almost like why, if you come from a legendary crew, that you're going to get put on by people that are considerably younger than you in a in terms of gangsterism. You may not be younger age wise. I had to tell this to one of my ex chicks, her kid's father. I'm older than you game wise and um just naturally. Yeah, I'm way up on it than you, partner. I've been out here way longer than you. But so it just didn't make any sense what partner had said to me. But I didn't want to beg him because he had been a nice person when I was fresh out. That's another person. Now when I first got out from having my stroke, he was there for a cat for real. But anyway, but Suge was known to be just a cool cat, but be down to scrap. Man, I used to love hanging around that cat. You try to just play like you playing, pushing him. He got to get his lick back. He's not letting you think that you done got one up on him. He just wasn't having that. And man, we used to just go everywhere together. We'd be downtown. We used to go visit our homegirl Monique. May she rest in peace. But before she had passed, we used to go visit her. And I'll never forget, we was in the ride with the I ain't gonna call it dude his name. The dude that used to smoke. We used to be in the car with JC, and JC would be rolling us. We had the pistol underneath the seat, and we'd go visit her in the hospital with the pistol. But we gonna go see our homegirl, but we ain't gonna be caught lacking. And so, like I said, he was from J2C, GD, and I was claiming Elm Street Power Root, and I'm from MOA. Two different crews, but we connected because, real recognize real. So here it is that we hanging out. I heard something. My bad, y'all. Excuse me. Normally, partner's a little closer to me, but I should have been in my dang pocket. My pit bull's in front of me, so he don't get the first wave of anything. But what he can't handle, I'll take care of the rest. But so anyway, we used to be everywhere. That was my brother, my partner. We used to be everywhere. So we was out there visiting her one day, and I'll never forget. So we asked her, "What you want?" You know, because we're trying to order something to eat. Because we had been out there a while, and Casting got hungry. So we're like, "What you want, Momo?" And she's like, "Yeah, man, let's order some pizza." So we like, "Oh yeah, that do sound good." So we go ahead and we order the pizza. And I don't know if the nurse had overheard us or how it went down, but she was like, as we're coming outside to go get the pizza, we're going downstairs, and man, the other woman came up on us. She hit us with a cold one. She's like, if you love her, you will not give her none of that pizza. That is not good for her. She was on not dialysis. I forget what all she was. She was medically being seen for at the time, but the nurse kept it so clean with us that it hurt, but at the same time we appreciate it, and we're just like, Mama, you can't have none of this. The nurse told us that this is not good for you. Baby, you're already up in the hospital. We don't want you to go. So we're not finna go out like that and give you something we know could possibly take you up out of here. And of course we got cussed out and everything. Little mama, we're a little thin, so that was my baby. I mean baby, I was like my little big sister. I think Monique's older than me. But anyway, I was my partner, man. Oh my God. I gotta tell that story. But so we couldn't do that. So anyway, we kept on coming and visiting her, but we just weren't going to give her that. So anyway, me and Chug, we riding around, we hanging out. So for the most part, we'll be staying at my house in the CD, and that was the hangout because everybody used to come over there because Mama wasn't there no more. She had just moved on. Little did we know it was about to be time for us all to move out. But I mean, the furniture was still there. There was beds still here, everything, and we'd be having, man, we were having chicks, and it was just, it was plentiful. And but me and she used to be out south together. I remember some Crips tried to jump on us out south. I mean, we had to get in and out of all kind of situations. Because when you're younger and you're outnumbered, it's man, it's different. You know what I'm saying? And when you're coming from the central, because that's our neck of the woods, and you're going out south, you don't really know the areas like that because you don't hang around like that. So you don't know where the enemies are sleeping and living at consistently because you're so used to being in your neck of the woods. So we got caught lacking it, but we had got out of there safely. But it was a trip because I'm a blood, and sometimes those cats was so hot and wanted to get at anybody they found out that was a G. It was ridiculous, but it only showed and let me know why. Because I'm not gonna get into that, but there was a reason why them cats didn't like them. Because them G's stole some things. See, adult cats really can scrap. But me and Suge used to be pretty much not just me and him, but me and him was together majority of the time. But everybody from the terrace he found a liking to, a loving to, because of Rick bringing him by, and we all just gravitated him. He was a cool cat. So one time, I mean not one time, this particular time, Suge is just out of nowhere he's back hanging with all of us, and we're kicking it. Man, he gets swooped up on by the bikers. I'll never forget the bikers swoop up on him, and we're walking in broad daylight, and he just didn't do it quick enough and got caught with the soup in his hand as he's about to go try to, and so he gets gobbled up. I'm like, they're about to take my boy down. So they takes him down, and before I know it, I don't know how long, but he's back out. Later, we come to find out he was on escape. I forget how he hit up and got up out of there. What I mean by escape, it could have been a multiple reasons. He could have been out for what they call a furlough for whatever and didn't go back, like a situation that I was out on. And then he could have literally broke up out of there and hit a fence because people have done it. Because I'm just tripping. I'm sitting there thinking about, as I'm telling this, it's reminding me of a story when we had a cat that we knew and some Crips, a Crip cat that we had issues with, Hoover, matter of fact. They had hit the fence right in the neighborhood because the juveniles right in our neighborhood. And they come breaking up the street, and lo and behold, while they're breaking up the street, just so happened we're in a taxi commercial break me. We're in a taxi cab, and they're breaking up the street. They had just escaped, and we had literally been having beef with these cats. But the one cat, he's from our neighborhood, and he just lived up the street, kind of squarish cat, but he's still from the neighborhood. He just lived up the street. But this other cat, me and him had, is the reason why the beef started, the Hoovers and the Bloods and the Esoterics, because something that somebody said, I ain't gonna mention her name, and started a whole full gang war, potting them getting shot in the neck, and they just went crazy from there. But we had to secure them. I mean, who was your number one enemy? The people in the streets or the police? So we seen this cat. It's like he looked, and I looked at him like, "What, man? Get in!" Like, we think I'm a second guess because we had an issue. You just escaped, and I know you're on escape. We got a way to get you up out of here, and you're running with the little homie older than me, and you're running with the homie. You definitely about to get a ride. But even if you wasn't, you wasn't about to get left out, and you just escaped. We got enough common sense and game to recognize he just hit a lick. I mean, hit a lick. He just broke up out of this joint. He needs to ride away from here quick as possible. And just so happened when they came running up the street. We were literally just getting into our cab. And what I do, man, get in. And once got in, I said, look, I'm gonna take you to the Crip homeboy's house around the corner because there was a Crip homeboy from down the street. He's from Seattle, but his family, they've been in Vegas all their lives. So he got a bunch of family down there. So, but from down the street, I say, I'm going to take you to the Crip homeboy's house that I know because, we dropped the other homeboy off that lived up the street at his place. Why he went there and you just escaped behooves me. But then again, he was from the hood, but he was still kind of squarish. And so I went around the corner, knocked on the door, hollered at the homeboy, Don, Danielle. Hey man, Crip homeboy just escaped. He needed a place to, lay into what's what. But before you know it, they became no, my bad. They did know each other. I'm tripping. They did know each other because I never forget when I was super loaded. They had came up to the terrace and they were with him. But no, they did know each other. So I had took him around there and but he didn't know. Man, I don't know. You got me thinking if they knew each other or that was the first day they met and then they came up to the terrace because I'm trying to remember why we didn't flex or trip when I seen him coming through the terrace. Well, he was with the homeboy, and of course, I'm not gonna press on you and you're by yourself. You're coming through the hood and you're what? Just you're by yourself. No, you and your brother. Now that I think about it, him and his brother. But nevertheless, I took him around the corner to the homie's house, and he went in and he was safe and cool and went and did what he had to do. And we just continue on doing what we were doing. But so what's the name? Back to the homie. He had, like I said, could have did one of those moves, and that's how he had got out. Because later on, we find out he was on escape. And at the time, we thought he had got released. So this is where it gets real tricky. So later, I'm not sure, days, weeks, him, my other homeboy, I don't want to say his name because just talk with him and I don't want to put him out there like that, not who I got off the phone with, but maybe a couple of weeks ago. Don't want it. You don't want your name to be associated with something like this when it's kind of died down and it's something that you have to carry the rest of your life. So let me explain to you what I'm about to say. Excuse me. Remember, I just told you we were feuding with the Hoovers. It was a big one, and they had got on me. You kept running vicious in the terrace, and I want to get back. I don't like getting punked or getting dealt with. I feel like whenever you did me, I got to get you back. Period. So we have been planning our attacks, doing our stuff, and we have been gathering up more pistol after pistol. I never forget. We started with a deuce deuce to the homie. I'll say D because he's no longer banging the B and he's with the G's, but you know I'm talking about you. And he hangs with some folks that I know. I'll leave it at that. And so anyway, he had the gauge, and then Rick had ended up coming up with a deuce deuce rifle with a banana clip. He has deuce deuce rifle banana clip at his mama's house. So when he shows it to me, I get sick face. I grabs the joint, runs to the window, cocks it back. I'm about to let it go out the window. And he comes and snatches it from me. Boy, what the hell is wrong with you? You tripping. My mama's in the other room. And that's just eyes got buck wild big like, oh yeah. You know, dang well, mom's in another room. Ain't like we 20 and 30. We got our own places. We still live with mama. So, because we were young. I was probably 16, 17. No, 16, because I turned 17 in Cal. And this is the reason why I moved to California. Literally. And this is where it wasn't gangbanging. Lancaster, commercial break me, was not gangbanging like it is now. Lancaster, Palmdale, nowhere close. When I used to live down here and used to go back and forth from not the 80s, from the 70s, because my birth Social Security card was issued in LA in 1974, 75, when Pops and my aunt got into an issue up here, and yeah, hit somebody and had to get out of town to Granny's. So anyway, so I've been going back and forth. Never was a gang banging town. I get blown away on how it's popping up there now because now they have a penitentiary and a juvenile. I even performed at the juvenile camp they have there. But Lancaster used to be so desert and square. It's just it's something else. So we, like I said, we had the little uh, gathering an arsenal, and so he takes that. Now pay attention to these chain of events. He takes the strap, takes the banana clip, takes it out, takes the rifle, puts them up on this shelf. Fast forward, I wasn't around this particular day, but I'm going through my mind and remembering that chain of event to what led up to this event. Me and I forget who was at the house with me, but who stayed with me rather. So one day we're at the house and these guys just start playing out of nowhere. I mean, a cat, when you didn't pull some all nighters, you're not trying to get bothered. You're trying to just, man, get your rest and get up at 2 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and be ready for the rest of the day. So the that's where I was on. But these cats, they was on playing. So it was Suge and the homeboy, we'll call him Straight Dirty. That's what we're gonna call him. He wasn't, but there's there's a reason for why I said that. So him and Straight Dirty, they in there clowning. They're throwing records at me. They're throwing whatever they can. They're just cause from a distance, cause I'm like the older homeboy and they're younger, so they know if I get up, I'm going off, and if I catch them, I'm going off. Not with none of our things, cause we had strategically placed from different houses. We was ready in case when we ever got in a situation again with them who we were beefing with, the Hoovers. We were just gonna be ready at gunplay. So I finally get up and I'm hot as a firecracker, and matter of fact, they were still in the house. So I'm chasing, trying to get one of them. And then Shook starts laughing and he breaks out the door and he's laughing at me. And then so I stop the door and it's hot because I'm in my boxers and socks. I'm not going to keep trying to chase somebody. And I had wheels back then too. But I can pick them up and put them down like big cartoon would say. I can really run, but I wasn't on that. So I just was like mad, saying choice words to them. And then Sugar said, "Hey D, can I get my $15?" And he's laughing, still just joking. But me sometimes I don't know when to joke because I'm mad, not realizing we're just kids having fun. Quit taking things so serious because you got woke up out of your sleep, partner. It's not that serious. And hopefully somebody can learn something from this because sometimes we take things so serious, and I had a bad issue with this, and it's not that serious. Just relax. Probably one of the reasons why I had a stroke because I used to take life not life, certain events in life I would take too serious, and things that weren't serious I wouldn't put enough effort and energy into dealing with them, and that's why it led to a lot of stress. So let me say this: he says what he says. My exact words to you was blank you, because I don't curse no more. I'm learning to get my vocab together because we can't get nowhere just doing a whole bunch of cussing, thinking that's gangsterism. No, that's stupidism. That's what that is. That's called stupidism. We think a bunch of curse words make us look so tough, keep saying it over and over about different things because we don't have the correct words to use. I be listening to certain cats on YouTube and they be using curse words for everything. Almost everything that they're trying to talk about. This plastic bottle. This is I don't want to say exactly the phrase the person used because people know what I'm talking about, but it's like every other word is a cuss word because we're not educating ourselves so that we can communicate better. It's really sad, and I'm one of them. And like I said, I've said this, and I've shown this before, and I need to really say what this book is because I hope somebody else can do what I did. I think I paid $20 or something like that, and it's worth more than that because this is our life. This is called Vocabulary Builder. Webster's Vocabulary Builder. So you read different words. It gives you the meaning of the words, and then there's different sentences that you have to connect the word to each sentence. Like, does this one fit in here? Like different word puzzles that help your brain to remember these words and how to use these words. Really helpful, and that's what I'm on. I want to build my vocab so I can build me and build my brand, which right now is this YouTube channel. And I can't do that just by, because since I don't curse no more, just making up any old kind of words to fit into what I'm trying to say because I don't have the vocab I don't have it expanded enough to grab different words to fit them into my sentence. So, yeah, very imperative. So, my thing is, I say that to him, just F you like it was nothing. And he just looked at me like, D, for real? And just laughed and walked on his way. Him and the other homie straight dirty. There's a reason why I'm saying that. The homies from our neighborhood, they'll know exactly why. Those that remember that name, they'll know exactly why. Because that wasn't his name, the person I'm calling it. But anyway, I'm smiling because where that name came from is funny because it was a cold ranking session between two people and how that came up. Oh man, we fell out. So anyway, they leave. They go up to Rick's house. Now here's why I wasn't here for this, but this is just what I was told. They goes up to Rick's house, and at this particular moment, Rick's not in the room. So Suge and Straight Dirty's in there, and this part I was told Suge was sleeping, and Straight Dirty was playing, and he put the barrel of the pistol towards his face, and the homie said that he whacked the barrel, like, get that out of my face. And when he whacked the barrel, it went off. That's what I was told. Now remember, we're gonna rewind the tape, and I'm gonna tell you what I think happened. What I think happened was he was playing with it because he was one of those type. He was straight up, he was gangster, young gangster. Him and the homeboy Inch, them was two young gangsters, young but was with it. They didn't went and did walk bys on Cherry against I never against this one big crip dude that was known. They caught him downtown slipping and went and got these two were nuts. Other crips that was their age, scrap them down. Yeah, they was with it. Little young cats, just we're talking real short because at the time Inch was a short cat. He's the National Geographic, little short cat, but he had handles since he was a youngster, real small little guy. You would think he just somebody's child that's on his way home, not knowing that his man was with it. He's just, goodness gracious, he was with it. But them two was tight. So what I believe had happened is he went up to him and started playing and talking like, just what I do to you, just clowning. And I believe he pulled the trigger. Because remember, the pistol, this happened right in front of my face because I'm the one that cocked the joint and put one in the chamber. And Rick snatched the joint from me because he don't want me shoot out at the window with his mom in the other room and took it and put it up in his closet where it was originally. So in their mind, in his mind, I mean, rather, he probably didn't pay attention to the fact that he took the clip out, but he didn't take the bullet out the chamber. He's young, real young. At the time, I think he was like, because I was going on 16, so he probably was 12. So that's what I think happened. All that he hit it and it went off, just because somebody hits it, it shouldn't go off unless you have your hand on the trigger and you're close to it. Anyway, that just didn't, it didn't hold up to me for a long time, but I just never said nothing. I was pissed, but what can I do? This is my partner too. They're both. Suge is my best friend, but this is my young partner too. So that's how he said what he said, and I think this is how, because it's more logical that you would just be playing and you just squeeze the trigger because you're just clowning because it was starstruck. It's a pistol, not knowing that there was a bullet in the chamber, and so it hit him right here, I believe, and sad and ironic. I just told a story about my homeboy Mo, and I believe that's the same way they said he had got hit right here. But this one, he got it hit, went in here, and it's a deuce deuce. So it went in and ricocheted all through his brain because that's what 22s do. They're deadly because them joints are going to go in and they're going to bounce through the cranium or inside of your body. It's going to hit off of bones because it's not that strong. So that's what they said had happened, and that's the reason why he had passed. And that I mean, I'm gonna kind of stand up a little bit. Anybody that knows Dorian D. Chill from the old school, I've always been very thin. When I got out of NACL, that's as big as I got. And I was 14 and going on 15. And I had a little bit of swole because I was up there pumping iron, but I was still a little guy. This is what I turned out to be. And that's with a sweater on. This gut right here, some may say, oh, that's some good living. People used to think, oh, he got that married life, which is true. I did get married, and I remember old pictures when I had hair, had the fade. My homeboy, the no hood homie, he had did my hair, had gave me a fade, and me and my wife had took pictures, and I was a little slimmer, but I still had a gut. And the reason why I got this gut is all because of when I lost Suge, I went through a major depression and started drinking like a stone cold idiot. I almost got killed. That's when I moved out of town and moved to California. I almost got killed. Two reasons were actually why this got as big as it did. I'm gonna get to each one. I almost got killed literally downtown Seattle because I blacked out, so drunk from being drinking. I had blacked out, and because we were on the bus sweating a Crip dude. To this day, don't know what he looks like, but this is a story that was told to me. But some of these parts I remember from me blacking out. I'm blacking out, and when we get off the bus, somebody must have said something still to the Crip dude, and he turns around with a 4-4 or 4-5. Boom, boom, boom. He's giving it to us. Everybody breaks. What do? I run straight towards him. Think I'm lying. There's several people I can say right now that remember that story that was there. One of them I did time for because I went snitch. And then one person went bad that did snitch, and he got a lot of people locked up, so we're not going to even mention him. But one of my partners just would help and took me to go wash clothes. Literally, he was there. And then two other cats were from D-Dub. They said that they said that one of them started cussing me out after it was all done with it because he was like, "Hey, something must be wrong with me." But I was so pissy drunk. And what I'm saying, this I do remember, I'm zigzagging certain things across through your brain, man. The times you won't believe it. I remember a story of a dude, true story, a sniper was good at shooting folks, but he was up at the top of somewhere and he's capping people off. Well, this one police officer was trying to get to his building location, and what he did was he kept zigzagging to get to his location. He zigzagged to this place, zigzagged to that place. It's hard to hit a moving target, is what he said later. That went through my brain that short time, and that's why I was zigzagging while he's busting. I'm running towards him, even though to this day I don't know what his face looked like. That's how bad I had blacked out. But I'm running towards him and I'm saying, I don't care if I die, kill me. I just lost my homie. And that's literally what I said because I was hurting so bad from losing Suge. And he's bussing. And the trippy part is two things. One is I felt the heat of a bullet go past my ear. I'll never forget that as long as I live, stroke or no stroke. I'll always remember the heat of a bullet went past this side of my head and I could have been gone. And it's on my sister's birthday, Halloween. The heat went past my ear, and so I'm still zigzagging, chasing the dude. I chases this cat all the way up to the corner of Third and Stewart and yell, "Bum back, blood! Bum back!" Huh? He has a pistol, and you tell him to come back. That's how gone I was. Had the cherry flag almost to my kneecap hanging down. Everything else is blued up. I learned that from the homie Donnie Rue. dress undercover and they won't see you coming. But I did have the flag out because it was in my pocket, but I got so loaded I didn't care. I had it out even though I was supposed to be undercover. That's when you plan on doing some dirt. You want to throw the enemy off. But anyway, man, for at least a month or two, I would get burning sensations in my stomach that I couldn't explain. And I couldn't understand why my stomach burning like this. And it just dropped in my spirit. And this can't be nothing but the Most High, the creator of them all, because I'd never been shot before. Now my brother, he told me how it feels, but I don't know the feeling because it's never happened to me. But the one thing that dropped in my head was you could have died and this would and you or you could have got shot. And this is the feeling you would have had one of those bullets hit you in your stomach because it just kept burning and burning. And I remember that bullet that went past my head, and then I correlated that with dang. And I keep having these burning sensations. It's got to be a sign he's trying to tell me something. Off to grandma's house. No question asked. Grandma, can I come down? Yeah, boy. You get yourself down there. You know you got a place to go stay. I'm there. I believe I took a bus. Normally I fly and she paid for it. I believe I took a bus. And I went and stayed with my granny. And life changed for the better for me. But then, of course, I came back home. But yeah, man, that's the story of me losing my best friend when I was 15, or I know I turned 16. Yeah, maybe I was 16 already when that had happened, but man, that had hurt. There's some more to this, but I'm gonna tell this stuff in different stories. Some discussions that he had with my brother, and then some discussions he had with me. But I believe I'll say that for another time. Now, one of them I'll say right now. We were learning more about Jesus. I don't like to say Jesus Christ because that's not his last name. That just means the anointed. But they say it so much like that's his birth name or something. It's sad how our churches don't. We've been bamboozled with so much that we don't know the full extent, the full truth of Yeshua's true name, his Hebrew original name, because we've been ganged up by the Americans on what they want us to believe. And I'm not going to get too much in that. I'll get on that in another story. But the point is, there's just things that I had to learn out of this situation and what I had to get away from so that I can hopefully get better. But at the time, I wasn't. I was stuck in it. And so one day, but we had been hearing about different things. I think, yeah, my brother had gotten to church heavenly at the time, and he had been talking to us about things like that. So I started thinking about changing my life and getting saved. And I'll never forget one day I asked Suge, and I'll finish with this. One day I asked Suge, I was like, man, you ever thought about just getting saved and leaving us alone? Because remember, we're best friends. We're going everywhere. I remember like it was yesterday. We're walking down the yesterday Born in Yesler. That's when I used to have these stickery bushes right there on Yesler and Born. That's where Bullet got his name at, because he had Pack Crunch Glee. We had a gang called Pack Crunch. Dang, I gotta start writing. Boy, there's a lot. I remember right now, but that was a game that we played called Pack Crunch, and so he had did that, and Glee was hot, so he cussed him out. And anyway, that's where the name come. Anyway, so me and him were talking broad daylight, walking across the street. And as we got on that side of the street where that sticky bush was, I asked him that, and then he's like, "Nah, man. When before I die, I ask God to forgive me, like as if He'd have time." He's like, and that's I forget how he said it in that split second, or But I'm thinking in my brain that I didn't challenge him. That's my little buddy. I didn't want to, hurt his feelings or offend him. And I was just in my brain like, why would he think that he has a chance in a split second he could be gone? But that was his mindset. He's going to do that at that time. It's just a trip, man, how our minds are when we're young, and this is all we know. And now we're being taught some things because we weren't really educated about the church life majority of our lives. So this was a depressing situation, a story that really hurt me for a long, long time. And what they call residual effects right here. That's how I got a beer gut. And because they had dirt weed in California, certain places they would have some fire here and there, but don't let them fool you. They didn't wasn't the king of fire like they be talking like the Humbleweed County or Humboldt County. They always no. They used to have garbage, trash. I went through L.A. in the Harlem Crips neighborhood and literally, that's like the smack dab in South Central LA, or that's in LA. And I'll never forget, we went to go get some weed. Anyway, I said I'll be done. I would say that for another story. Yeah, it's a trip. The stuff that I learned with the Cali stuff. But yeah, man, that's my story. I miss you, Suge. I really miss you. I love you. I used to go to your burial often up on Pacific Highway, and I used to sit in my cousin's car, this blue Toyota, uh, not Corolla, Chris, I forget the name of it, but her husband had this nice vehicle, had Beats. I used to be driving that joint, and I would go sit at the park, at his burial, and I would play. This was one of the favorite songs I remember. I know there's another one, but this was one that I remember. You're my everything, girl, not just a pretty face. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You're my everything, girl, not just a pretty face. That was Suge's joint. That was a joint. He loved that song. And I would just let that beat. And I would just sit there smoking a joint. Because this is before blunts. I'd be sitting there just smoking a joint. Sometimes I'd be in my boxers with a robe on. Because our house is not too far. I just drive up there thinking about him and get out. Or not just a robe. I'm tripping. My long johns. Or anyway, not the thermal pants, but anyway, y'all get what I'm getting at. The underpants that you wear when you go to sleep. I can't think of the name, but I did have a robe on, had them on, and sometimes, or unless I just came from grinding, I'll put up there as I'm thinking about them. But I would sit there and just smoke and just think about them and sit there and be crying. Of course, I was still young, but I loved that dude and miss him. I was a good friend, my best friend. I love you and I miss you, Shug. Comment, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. All right, y'all, I'm out.